Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today? Well, it's day 2 of the lockdown, and luckily, Jane got back yesterday from the United Kingdom, and she couldn't come back to absolutely glorious weather. She said the weather was a bit grim over in the UK. Jane's still fast asleep after her epic journey. I've been up early this morning, feeding the cats, and just going through the news, of which we've got quite a bit from yesterday, to be quite honest. And so I'm going to crack on all quickly. Here's Graham. He's sat there looking out, naughty boy. Okay. Any other cats? Oh, little Sandy's just over there as well. He's looking out, doing his little bit of an early morning patrol. And you'll notice as well all the containers there still lined up as olive harvest is continuing on as well. I'm going to be talking about that in just a little while as well. Right then, so let me switch it around. People already tuning in, which is really nice to see. Nice to say hello to Amanda. Did you sleep last night? How are the pups getting on? Are you getting on all right? Anyway, let's just quickly go through what went on yesterday. So as I said yesterday, an epic journey for Jane from Luton Airport. Initially, Jane's plans was she was supposed to be flying from Manchester, but EasyJet then started to cancel flights. So then the only alternative flight that Jane could get was from Luton Airport. So anyway, she managed to book a flight on Luton Airport. Can I just say big hello to Steve Hinkling as well, because Steve Hinkling, you've been an absolute star and a gentleman. Steve drove Jane all the way down to Luton Airport. Obviously, Jane got her PDF forms and everything else sorted. She checked in. Steve wasn't allowed actually to go into the airport. He could drop her off, but then had to leave straight away. And so he then drove off to a service station where he said he was going to get something to eat, and he'd actually just wait and see that everything was all right. So initially, Jane basically checked in, put her luggage in, etc. Was then allowed to go through into departures, and while she was in departures, all of a sudden a message was sent over the tannoy. Her name was mentioned and other people's names were mentioned. Basically, Wizz Air was telling them that they then needed COVID-19 test documents, and if they didn't have that, they wouldn't be flying. Now, that obviously upset a lot of people that were on that flight. And I think initially there was about 39 people booked on that flight to fly out. So basically what happened was they all obviously went to the desk for Wizz Air, said, look, this is not right. We know that the rules are at the moment. We don't need one until Monday morning. But it might have been a cheeky move by Wizz Air to basically, because there wasn't a lot of people on this flight, they were basically wanting to be able to cancel the flight. But anyway, somebody within the group of those people raising a fuss obviously had some clout somewhere. Initially, Jane thought it might have been something with the embassy or something like that. But anyway, phone calls were made, and the next thing you know, 15 of them were allowed to get on the flight, and Jane literally sent me a recorded message, and as I said yesterday, running to the gate. She'd also phoned Steve at the service station, because the plan B was, if Jane couldn't fly from Luton to Zakynthos directly, the plan then was to go over to Gatwick and catch a flight from Gatwick. And so Steve very kindly, luckily, he'd been having a McDonald's at the service station, wherever that was, and he'd been sat just chilling. They said the drive down was really good. So Jane phoned him to say, look, Steve, can you hang on? Because I might need you to come back, pick me up, and then drive me over to Gatwick, all right, to catch the flight from Gatwick, obviously, to Athens, and then we'd worry about Athens from there. So anyway, that wasn't required. I actually did go down to the airport on setting number 4 on the booking out system, which was basically going to help a friend in need. So went down to the airport. Down there, obviously, like a ghost ship, very, very few people down there. I didn't notice many people booking in to actually fly back to the UK. So I'm not sure how many people were on that flight going out. I only actually did see 1 or 2 people at the check-in there. But then again, I did actually arrive quite for about 7:30, I think it was. I got down there, and the flight was due in at 7:45, but it was about 10-minute delay. But anyway, she came through very quickly. She did get tested at the airport, and at the moment waiting for the results of the COVID test. And the interesting thing was, on the advice that was sent through on the text message, we were expecting like a 14 days quarantine or something like that for coming from the UK. However, no, 24-hour self-isolation. So obviously we're going to follow that today, do this 24-hour self-isolation, I think me included as well. So we won't be going down to feed the cats. But anyway, so Jane is back, waiting to see what they say as regards to the test that she's actually had. Right. So what else has been going on? As you probably may already know or don't know, yesterday was a record amount of deaths here in Greece for coronavirus, a record 34 deaths. So since the actual pandemic started, I'm just thinking what the total number now of deaths is. I think it's about 749 deaths now we've had, but yesterday was a record number at 34. Also, there was 2,556 new cases as well, and the total number of people on ventilators at the moment is 207. And as you're probably aware, since early Saturday, Greece has gone into its second countrywide lockdown. So basically, this is the first major spike in cases since May. And again, obviously, people are... It's really weird at the moment, even though we're in this sort of kind of lockdown. I was out yesterday doing jobs like going to the shops, went to Lidl, etc., etc. People are abiding by the rules. People are wearing masks. And Zakynthos town was quieter. I've got to be honest, it was quieter. Anyway, the Greek police have been out enforcing the lockdown. At the moment, the stats coming back on that at the moment is that 47,595 checks were carried out across the country, of which resulted in 4 arrests and a total of 28 violations for the operating of stores. In other words, stores that are not supposed to be open being open. 442 cases of people just waving to the neighbour. He's off on his bike ride, or part of his exercising regime. 442 for moving across the country. Obviously, people now not allowed to move after certain timings. And believe it or not, 1,249 people for not wearing a mask. And 12 of these violations, although for what we don't know at the moment, actually were from the Ionian Islands. So as soon as we get a bit more information on that, that will be interesting as well. Now, obviously, one thing that was highlighted, that during the lockdown, locals have been trying to get the harvest in with the olives. Anyway, the president of the Zakynthos Association for Olive Mill Owners, Nikos Soulis, did an interview with Hermes Radio and said that despite the problems and difficulties to the olive harvest, there is hope for a good production. And despite the damage caused by the Hurricane Ionis, the price of the new oil at the moment has reached 2.4 euros per litre. He also said, so far the extraction, it seems that olives that are not ripe are not really ripe, and the yields have reached a percentage of about 15%. Now, last year, olives were more ripe and a better yield. However, each producer does decide when it's time to collect them many times. So obviously the problem at the moment now is people trying to collect olives in during this lockdown. Mr. Soulis also called for the people who are collecting the oil in to be very careful. They are discovering that while they've been checking the oil, that they found chainsaw oil in with the oil as well. Maybe that is accidentally going in. I wouldn't say that people are trying to put that oil in to make it go a bit further. There have been cases in the past of people cutting oil by putting vegetable oil into it to make it go further. The main problem with a lot of the people is that even though the oil, it's like crude oil, basically olive oil, the less there is, the more it can sell for. And a lot of the olive farmers here are wanting that their olives can obviously move freely, because obviously they can get a higher price for their olives. But at the moment it's been set at 2.4 here on the island. If people just want to take their olives in, have them processed, that is what they'll get per litre back. But other olive producers obviously want to play the market as it was, and if they can get €3, €4, €5 a litre in another place, then obviously that's what they'll try and aim to do, to try and move their olives to somewhere else. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that, because obviously our landlord works bloody hard with the olives, and I know a lot of people around the area are also in the same boat when it comes to the olive picking. There's a great responsibility with owning olive trees, all right? Anyway, for those waiting for their unemployment money, I know ICA have been making phone calls at the moment, but just be aware that a new set of working hours has been announced over the weekend by the Minister of the Interior. Now, as of Monday, there's going to be 3 shifts for employees working in like government areas, including ICA employment as well. Now, their shifts are basically a 7 a.m. to a 3 p.m., then an 8 a.m. to a 4 p.m. and a 9 a.m. to a 5 p.m. So basically, they're asking that it's certain offices where teleworking can be done, i.e. people working from home, that they will do it, and they're going to continue the operation of public services as best they can. And at the same time, the possibility of special purpose leave is being reintroduced for vulnerable groups, but also for children that are in high schools. So basically, be patient is, I think, what they're saying. I know there's a lot of very complicated tax law and employment law stuff. I was trawling through some of it this morning. It needs a little bit of more time to look at to fully understand what's going on. But there are going to be special payments, a payment of about €800, a one-off payment, which is basically taking in the Christmas bonus has been talked about as well. So you may find your unemployment might go up just a little bit as they try and sort that out. There are people who may not be getting unemployment at the moment, and I know Jane at the moment is worrying that she might be one of those in that group at the moment, but we will keep our eye on that, because it's all very well going on lockdown, people can't work, but there are people who haven't been working at all through the summer, or worked very, very little through the summer, not through any fault of their own, but just because of what has gone on. So hopefully we will see what will transpire there. Nice to see loads of people tuning in at the moment. I'm just quickly going to say a quick hello to those that are tuning in. Big Al Thompson, nice to have you there, mate. Hope everything is all right. I'll give you a quick wave back. Amanda Gregory, up early with the puppies. I hope I hope you slept last night, my lovely. There we go. Quick wave to you as well. Lyndon is also tuning in. How you doing, Lyndon? I hope the weather in Wales is as nice as it is here today, because I've got to be honest, I still can't believe it's the 8th of November, and the weather is glorious. So anyway, I hope you're having a good time. Also as well, Amanda Gregory, morning Ginge, sad day today. They lost one of their little puppies last night. Amanda took some pups in that had been dumped, bless her, and obviously one of them giving up the fight. Bless you. You do what you could do. You can only do what you can do, and I know it's heartbreaking. We've lost so many animals that we've took in, and I know with cats, you get a thing called kitten fade, which is basically when a cat is taken away from its mother too early. The mother's milk is very important in building up resistance to disease, infection, etc. And sometimes people don't understand that once a cat is taken too early from its mother, its body doesn't actually get the resistance that it needs. And one minute the cat can be happy, little kitten can be happy playing around, and the next minute what called kitten fade comes in. All the vital organs start to shut down, and basically the animal passes away. So I'm with you on that, Amanda. You did what you could. probably did more than most people would have done. And obviously, my condolences for your loss. All right, bless her. Anyway, Alvitsos Vusolis, I think that is pronounced. Nice to have you tuning in. I don't know where you're from, but I think you're checking up. But lovely to have you here tuning in. I'll give you a wave back as well. Amanda Gregory. She just said we named her Ruby and our boy pup is okay. Thank you for that, my darling. I'm so pleased to hear that. Lyndon says, morning, Ginge. Last day of lockdown for us in Wales. For how long is anyone's guess? Thank you, Lyndon. While you finish, we are just getting started is probably the best way of looking at that. Ian Booth says, good morning, Ginge. I hope you are well. Yes, I'm very well at the moment. Chris O'Gorman is watching. Nice to have you tuning in. Raffredge, buddy. Nice to see you tuning in. Andy Owen is also tuning in as well. Nice to see you as well. Andy says, morning, Ginge. Dave Lowry is watching. Nice to have you, Dave. Tracy M. Mitchell's watching as well. Nice to have you here, Tracy. Alan Woodhouse is also looking in. Tracy Mitchell again says morning, thank you. Chick Ballantyne is also tuning in. Nice to see you here, Chick. Obviously getting ready for Remembrance Week that is now coming up as well. I've got something rather special lined up for Remembrance Week. I was chatting to my next door neighbour, the one who's just gone off on the bike, and on Tuesday he's an ex-bandsman from the Greek Royal Air Force, or the Greek Air Force, Hellenic Air Force. I better not say Royal Air Force, they'll get upset if I say that. Yeah, he's ex-bandsman, did 20-odd years, 25 years as a bandsman, and he's been learning the trumpet. He started learning it actually during the last lockdown, and he's got really good. So I said to him yesterday, would you mind if we did a live stream of you doing the last post at 11 o'clock on Tuesday, our time here? So 11 o'clock will be 9 o'clock where you are in the UK. And he's going to do the last post. He's going to play that out from here on Wednesday as a bit of a Remembrance Day thing. So I'm going to look forward to that. That should be fun. And also very poignant as well. Anyway, David Matthews says, morning. How is Bryce Norton today? George Glenopolis. I can't even begin to say your name, sir. But thank you for tuning in, George. Nice to see you here. Al Parks is watching as well. I know there was heated chat on Al Parks's Facebook page, referenced the Biden election call yesterday. A lot of people very, very split on it at the moment. I know myself, I'm not a great supporter of Joe Biden. I think the whole thing is Biden will be in for a short while, and then at some point he will step down or be removed from office, and his vice president will take over, Kamala Harris, and things will move on. But I don't see the things that could easily fix America being done: single payer healthcare, minimum wage of $15, cancel student debt, and free college education being more available. I don't see that happening, because if you did that and you ran on those policies, you would be the greatest president ever. And if Donald Trump had kept to those policies, he could have been the greatest president ever. But no, I think it will be business as normal for the Democrats. Although for Greece, it might actually work in our favour, because Biden is a bit of a Greek fan, and also Trump to a degree as well. And we're all just going to have to wait and see. But again, for America, I think you're in for a tough old ride still. And you've got a lot of things to get over. We think we got it bad here, but I tell you what, I feel safer here in Greece than what I would do probably in some parts of the United States. Anyway, Gary Eden's tuning in as well. Nice to have you tuning in. What else have I got for you before I disappear away? Oh, yes. Can I just say, yesterday I was so shocked. My show from Friday, which I've now renamed Requests and Inspiration. It's your requests, my inspiration. Show number 8, which I did on Friday, has got into the Mixcloud charts. I couldn't believe that within 12 hours it was already in there. It went in the pop chart at number 54. It went in the soul chart at number 70, and it was in the reggae chart at number 16. So once again, cheers for that, guys. Once again, don't forget, there'll be a show on Wednesday, and that I'm going to make that kind of a sort of remembrance show in a way. It will be music that people have a memory. Ex-Forces guys, you've got a particular tune that reminds you of some time in your military career. I'd love to hear what those tunes might be, and we'll bang those out for people with us and people who have gone. So that's going to be on Wednesday. That'll be that broadcast, and then don't forget I'll have another broadcast on Friday as well next week. And that's it from me. So Jane's back safe and sound. All our cats are here safe and sound. Unfortunately, we won't be feeding the strays today because of Jane has to stay in self-isolation, etc. And we just want to make sure we stay within the law. We don't get caught out somewhere on a technicality or something. But once again, thanks for all your support. I haven't posted yesterday's show up onto YouTube yet, but I'll endeavour to do that at some point. All right, through the day, I'll get that yesterday's show up, and also this show as well will go up as well. Anyway, thanks again for all your support. I'll speak to you again soon. You take care and have a great day wherever you are in the world. Ta-ra. Catch you later.